through. I paint pictures with my words, tangled thoughts and feelings. GrowingGames.com, Rory Favreau, tangled thoughts and feelings.
Hey there guys, and welcome to another episode of the Growing Gamers podcast. My name's Tory Favreau, coming to you from Geelong, Victoria, Australia. I hope you're well. It's a sunny day out there, so plenty of reasons to be happy. Getting, vitamin K from the sun, kryptonite, kryptonian, I don't know, vitamin D? Yeah, vitamin D. So, sun's out, birds are chirping, and we're talking today. You can find the Growing Gamers podcast on Facebook simply by typing that in. You can find us on YouTube by typing taping. If you get some fucking tape, you won't fucking get anything. So go to the Growing Gamers on YouTube, type that bad boy in, and you'll find me. Thanks to all the people who watched my fucking stupid rant about the Xbox Cyberpunk 2077 controller. I've got a lot of good feedback from that. For some reason, people really like the fact that I swore about it for 4 minutes. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe I should just be a grumpy old fuck who swears non-stop for 4 minutes, having a 4-minute fucking chicken. I don't know. Anyhow, today's show is a movie review for you, a review of a movie. So I picked this up the other day. It has only just come out, and it is 1917. 1917. This is the 4K version. It does come with the 4K disc, and it also does come with just a standard Blu Ray. That's the 4K, what it looks like. Then standard Blu Ray. Oh, sorry, presentation. Okay, so basically, if you've got the luxury of 4K viewing, this has been listed as one of those movies that you really should have in 4K, and I agree. This movie is a fucking banger. You need to own it right the fuck now. And basically, it's directed by Sam Mendes. It was filmed from the perspective of a one-shot, which means the camera is constantly sort of in a fixed perspective, following the action. The story is just beautiful. Basically, I'm going to read the back of it to do justice to what the story is about. At the height of the First World War, two young British soldiers, Schofield and Blake, are given a seemingly impossible mission. In a race against time, they must cross enemy territory and deliver a message that will stop a deadly attack on hundreds of soldiers, Blake's own brother among them. This fucking movie ripped at my heart, made me feel tense and frightened the whole way through. It was so beautifully shot. I can't recommend it highly enough. This is a must-own. I mean, it is quite graphic if you can't handle that stuff. It's done fairly, not even fairly, it's done realistically. The horror of war is going to be fucking more than projected. Think of Saving Private Ryan and the landing at Normandy. That sort of blood and guts. It's toned down a little bit from that, but in terms of injuries, you will see some injuries that are quite upsetting that will make you cringe. They don't hold back. The friendship and camaraderie between the two, I'm going to call them fucking boys. They're just so young. The soldiers in this war were so young. It's like from both sides, both German and in this case the British forces, they're so young. It's fucking heartbreaking. And I was thinking back, not the same thing. I'm not even fucking pretending. So I served in the military for 8 years, and during that time I was on board a ship during the Gulf War. You might call it Operation Desert Storm. And I was on HMAS Sydney. So if anyone from Sydney's watching, hey guys, got a bit older. I was 19. So I guess, and a lot of the guys on my ship were incredibly young too. So I don't know what it is about these sorts of circumstances, but they send young people to war. But that aside, it was like back during that day, people lied to defend their country. They you'd have 15, 16-year-olds lying and doctoring paperwork that was easily forgeable in those days to get into the great adventure, the great conflict, only to come home like shattered people. The sense of urgency in this, once the boys get their mission, which is pretty much immediately, the camera follows them through the entire adventure, and it swirls and moves around them. And if you watch the making of it, it was such a feat. Like, you'd see the cameramen, they were filming like with this special camera that they got for this particular movie, and there'd be two guys holding it, and then they'd be running, and pretend my face is the camera. They'd be running, and the gimbal would be moving to keep it smooth, but quite literally, the camera follows the action of those two guys the entire time. It doesn't break from them. So there's some weird scenes like when they're approaching a farmhouse. And don't worry, I'm not going to do any fucking spoilers. This movie is too special to spoil. But they approach a farmhouse, and normally in a conventional movie, the camera would then leave them, go to the farmhouse, and go from the farmhouse perspective going back down the hill toward them. This doesn't do it. The camera follows them up to the farmhouse, and then they do clever things through the movie, like there's flares being shot to try to find them. And they mention the flares. You see the light of the flare, but you don't see the flare itself until the boys have run past that contact point, and then you'll see the flare arcing behind them as it explodes. It's just amazing. It's fucking amazing, and it gave me even more gratitude when I watched the making of it, because it was just like, I was gobsmacked the entire time. This is a movie, if you want to see how movies can be made, this is a movie to watch. And like I said, if you do have the ability to see this on a 4K disc, please do. It costs a little bit more, at least it does in Australia. Like, I paid nearly an extra $10 to get the 4K version. Mind blowing. Shot so clearly. It's just a beautiful, beautiful movie. The score just tugs at your heartstrings. Every single actor, and there's some big recognizable names in there. They deliberately focused on the two main guys to be relatively unknowns, though they both did have experience with film beforehand. But there's some decently big names, and then you'll go, I know who that is. And they've only got a bit part, but they all brought so much integrity and hard work to their roles that you just go, this is fucking stunning. And it is. Like this guy who often gets quoted on this, Peter Travers from Rolling Stone, wrote one of the best war films of all time. I agree. I do agree. It's in terms of how it was shot and the emotion and just the humanity behind it. I agree 110%. Would it be my favourite war movie of all time? It would be close to, on like first impression, first viewing. I am going to watch it again. It was just so beautiful. And some of the sequences, you'll just go, there is no fucking way they did that, like with one shot. And yet you watch the making and they did. The technical prowess of this camera team and the vision that Sam Mendes had is utterly, utterly beautiful. And because they're following them in real time, essentially, because the camera doesn't break, there's like the only thing it ever broke for, and this was literally because there was no action, and once again, no spoilers, but someone is knocked out. And the camera goes black for about, 10 seconds, but it's to indicate that time's passed, and immediately the camera stays back on the action. Beautifully done. Cannot recommend it highly enough. Like I said, if you are upset by war themes, you're going to be upset, but there's touching moments. There's the strength of brotherhood. There's overcoming adversity, and just the general triumph of the human spirit. So please, please, please watch this, rent it, however you get your content at the moment. Watch 1917. It is absolutely amazing. I was utterly stunned at how good this movie is, and it demands to be a part of everyone's movie collection. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe. If you're listening to the audio show, thank you so very much. I appreciate that. You can subscribe to the podcast through Apple Podcasts if you choose to, and that way you don't miss an episode. But yeah, I was utterly stunned at how amazing this movie was. Thank you for watching 1917. Please do watch it, and thank you for watching this. Take care, and more potty mouth goodness coming to you fucking soon. Bye-bye.